Why does it seem like you spend most of your time in bed, lying down and not doing much lately? Are you someone who easily gets tired and doesn't feel like doing anything? Do you label this kind of behavior as mere laziness and nothing more? There's actually a lot of overlap between laziness and burnout that can make it difficult to differentiate between the two. Burnout is a negative state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive stress and inability to cope with it. And as of 2010, a survey reported that approximately 75% of adults in the United States alone have experienced symptoms of burnout, with over 40% of cases being more severe. Now, more than ever, it's become imperative to educate and better understand the nature of burnout. So with that said, here are 6 telltale signs that what you're experiencing right now isn't actually laziness, but burnout. Number 1, you feel disconnected from everything. Are you going through the motions of every day as if on autopilot? Is there a persistent feeling of being detached from your own self? If you're suffering from burnout, one of the things you might be experiencing but don't quite realize or understand is depersonalization. People experiencing depersonalization, most commonly those struggling with trauma, report feeling a strange sort of emotional numbness or emptiness, as if they were watching life from outside of themselves. They don't feel like themselves anymore. They don't feel engaged by anything, and they constantly struggle with the overwhelming sense of helplessness and inability to take back control of their lives. Number 2, you used to be motivated. Laziness is a character trait, and character traits tend to remain stable over time. A lazy person doesn't ever feel like exerting effort or applying themselves to things. But if you used to be self-motivated and high-achieving, often excelling in certain areas, and have only recently become exhausted, apathetic, and unmotivated, then it's more likely that you're suffering from burnout and not laziness like most people would think. Number 3, you used to be passionate. A clear difference between someone who's burnt out and someone who's lazy is that the former used to have things they were passionate about, but may now be struggling to find interest or enjoyment in anymore. Whether it's a talent, a sport, or just your academic or professional performance in general, burnout can make it hard for you to do the things you once loved or felt passionate about. You might even come to hate or resent it because of how much you overworked yourself and pushed yourself to the brink because of it. Ouch. Number 4, you've become moody and irritable. Do you suddenly find yourself snappy and easily irritated? Do you often feel emotionally out of control nowadays and don't know why? Moodiness and irritability are common but often overlooked signs of burnout. So if you start to have trouble controlling your emotions, especially when it never used to be a problem for you, this might be the reason why. Lazy people, on the other hand, are a stark contrast to this because they're often very relaxed, laid back, placid, and unaffected by things. Number 5, you've neglected your self-care. One of the most distressing warning signs that someone may be emotionally and physically burnt out is if you start neglecting your self-care and socially withdraw from others. There are concerning changes in your eating and or sleeping patterns. You stop making an effort to groom yourself or look good, and you tend to spend most of your time by yourself doing nothing because you're so easily exhausted by even the simplest of tasks. The difference between being burnt out and laziness are starkly in the fact that you weren't always this way. And number 6, these changes happened gradually. Finally, but perhaps most importantly, something you should know about burnout is that it develops in stages. So all of the points mentioned before, losing interest and motivation, especially in things we used to love, feeling detached from yourself and disconnected from everything around you, socially withdrawing and neglecting your self-care, won't just happen overnight. Studies show that there are actually 5 major stages of burnout, each with increasing degrees of severity. The honeymoon phase, the onset of stress, chronic stress, burnout, and habitual burnout. Many people begin to experience symptoms as early as the 2nd phase, when there is still a moderate amount of stress, but optimism, interest, motivation, and performance may already start declining. And by the time you reach the 5th and final stage, burnout has already become so embedded in your life that the persistent mental and physical fatigue become more intense and harder to treat, making you more vulnerable to developing depression and anxiety. Spotting the signs of burnout early makes it all the more easier for you to get help and recover from it. That's why it's so important to raise awareness about burnout instead of simply dismissing it as laziness, like most people tend to do. So if you or anyone you know may be suffering from mental or emotional burnout, please please don't hesitate to reach out to a mental health care professional today and talk to them about it. If you find this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below with your thoughts, experiences, and suggestions, and share it with those out there battling the haze of burnout. Don't forget to subscribe to Psych2Go and hit the notification bell for more new videos. And as always, thanks for watching. Are you completely overwhelmed and exhausted, but nothing seems to help? Do you feel stressed and nervous, but also wonder if something more serious like burnout is at play? More often than not, stress and burnout can be confused with one another. Elizabeth Scott, PhD, writer at Very Well Mind, defines stress as the physical, emotional, or psychological strain caused by change. Burnout, as defined by the helpguide.org medical team, is that same strain, but instead caused by excessive stress. Melinda Smith says that stress can feel like you're drowning, but burnout can feel like you're dried up and have nothing left to give. Because the symptoms of stress and burnout are very similar and overlap, it can be a challenge to tell the two apart. Mistaking one for the other could lead to harm, especially when trying to treat it. For this reason, it's important to know how to tell if you have stress or burnout and what you can do about it. Number 1, fatigue. Psychotherapist Dr. Brian E. Robinson says while stress can be awful, depleting, and negatively impact your health, people who are stressed are still able to cope with the demands and pressures of life. Dr. Robinson goes on to say that when someone has burnout, they're unable to cope anymore and are completely overcome with exhaustion. Experiencing burnout can feel like something has completely sucked the life out of you. Are you feeling totally depleted? Like you have nothing more to give? If you answered yes, you may be experiencing more than just stress, and it could be burnout. Number 2, burnout coach Moodiness says that burnout can be hard to identify because it comes on quietly and slowly over a long period of time. In fact, psychologists Herbert Freudenberger and Gail North have outlined 12 phases to burnout. Excessive drive, ambition, pushing yourself to work harder, neglecting your own needs, displacement of conflict, no time for non-work related needs, denial, withdrawal, behavior changes, depersonalization, inner emptiness or anxiety, depression, mental or physical collapse. The first phase is excessive drive and ambition. You can then find yourself neglecting your own needs after pushing yourself to work harder. Later on, burnout starts to manifest as inner emptiness and anxiety and depression. And finally, you can experience mental or physical collapse. Number 3, daily struggling. The relationship between mental toughness, stress, and burnout among adolescents. A longitudinal study with Swiss vocational students says burnout is primarily a work-related syndrome, but there is research to support that it can be seen in other environments as well, such as in school or academia. The European Journal of Investigation in Health, Psychology, and Education states that school burnout arises when students feel overwhelmed and unable to cope with stressful events. Do you notice that you're unable to cope with the stress that sets in while working away on a variety of tasks and responsibilities during your day? Whether you're in school or college, work or volunteering, it can be understandable why you might be completely exhausted. You're carrying a lot, and there are tons of expectations on your shoulders. If you feel like you aren't able to show up in the way you used to and are absent, unreliable, and generally just not yourself, it may be more than just stress, and it could be burnout. Number 4, psychological changes. Does your mind not feel like it used to? Do you notice that your mind feels foggy and spacey? Are you having trouble concentrating or just thinking in general? Dr. Brian Robinson says burnout can impact someone's mental well-being in a big way. It can impact your emotions and make you feel moody or like you're on edge, about to snap. Or maybe you've already snapped and are feeling short-tempered. These can all be signs that you may be experiencing burnout. It can feel helpless to have new and unfamiliar emotions and mental blocks. BMC Public Health states that just like prolonged stress, people who are experiencing burnout can have an increased risk of depression or anxiety. Number 5, physically unhealthy. Have you been noticing that you've been getting sick a lot more than usual lately? Has it felt impossible to get a good night's sleep or fall asleep even though you're super tired?
The Mayo Clinic shares that ignored or unaddressed job burnout can have significant consequences, including fatigue, insomnia, heart disease, and high blood pressure, as well as type 2 diabetes and vulnerability to illness. It's important to not brush off feelings of stress and to reflect on how your body and mind are feeling. It can be confusing to know if your physical symptoms are due to stress or burnout, as both can cause physical health problems. If you find yourself experiencing physical symptoms, you should probably skip the Google searches and WebMD articles and speak to your doctor. Number 6, no impact. While burnout mostly results from ongoing and prolonged stress at work or school, according to Ayala Pinessa and Giora Kainamb, stress isn't always the cause. You know how when you're doing something you love and then even though it's really hard and stressful, it feels worth it? Well, there could be a reason why that stress feels different. Research from the Journal of Personality and Individual Differences noticed that burnout seems to result from an appraisal that one's contribution is insignificant. Their research also shows that when people are doing something meaningful to them that can impact their community, they are more likely to experience stress rather than burnout. This means not all stress results in burnout. It can be overwhelming to be stressed or to be facing burnout, and it's not always clear if it's stress or something else. But if you relate to any of these signs, please know there are many coping strategies and resources that can help. But you don't have to do it alone. If you or your loved ones may be experiencing high stress or burnout, please don't hesitate to reach out to a mental health care professional today and talk to them about it. Comment below if you've experienced burnout and how you caught it early. Until next time.
Have you been feeling lately that your hard work always seems to wear you down? Have you been feeling more and more exhausted? And worse still, has this exhaustion seeped into areas of your life outside of work? What is burnout? The International Classification of Diseases defines burnout as a syndrome conceptualized as resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. In other words, it's a response to prolonged job stress. This applies whether your work is at the office, in school, or at home, like if housework or caring for family members is your main job. Although it is an occupational phenomenon rather than a medical condition, the struggles that come with it are very real. It's important to be mindful of the causes and habits that may lead to burnout to best care for your own mental health. With that said, you might be engaging in habits that are bringing you closer to burnout, even if you don't realize it. So, here are 6 habits that are making you burn out without realizing it. Number 1, neglecting your physical health. Do you not get proper sleep? Or perhaps skip a few meals here and there? Skipping a few meals may turn into losing your appetite altogether and weight loss. A few sleepless nights may turn into chronic nightly insomnia. Lack of proper sleep and nutrition can lead to physical weakness and a compromised immune system, which can then cause other physical symptoms of burnout. It's important to address signs of trouble with sleep and appetite early on and ensure that you get enough rest, nutrition, and exercise to help prevent your stress from worsening into burnout. Number 2, allowing negative feelings to fester. It's normal to sometimes feel nervous, sad, or angry, but it's important to take note of persistent anxiety, sadness, or hopelessness, as well as irritability with other people. Mild symptoms of these may become increasingly serious as you approach burnout. Similarly with physical difficulties such as insomnia, if these are left unaddressed, they can grow into severe burnout. So it's important to manage these early before they worsen. Number 3, not taking breaks. We said burnout occurs from prolonged stress with work. This may happen when you work harder and forget to take breaks in the process, maybe pressured by external forces, or personally driven to achieve success. But if you keep working yourself to the bone without any proper breaks, you may be putting yourself in danger of burnout. Taking a vacation might bring you some temporary relief, but it's better to take regular breaks from work and try to recharge. Number 4, keeping your problems to yourself. Burnout has also been traced to working conditions that cause stress, such as unreasonable time, pressure, and workload expectations, unfair treatment, lack of role clarity, and lack of communication and support from a manager. If you feel as though you're being treated unfairly at work, or if expectations are unclear, you should discuss these issues with your manager, supervisor, or a trustworthy person of authority that can help you. Keeping these issues to yourself and tolerating poor work conditions will likely lead to burnout. It's important to communicate these problems with the appropriate person. While this can seem daunting, you can raise your concerns in a professional and polite manner. Number 5, staying in the wrong job. Sometimes the main problem may turn out to be that you've been feeling stuck or trapped in the wrong position or even the wrong job. Clarity of your current roles can help you figure this out. Your current job might not provide the right learning opportunities for you or the career growth that you desire. Perhaps it doesn't challenge you enough in aspects that you're interested in improving on, or maybe you're overqualified for your job and are simply lacking stimulation or a chance to flourish. We might not be able to choose our dream job, but assessing your needs and exploring options may lead to greater fulfillment, or at least help you figure out the way forward. And number 6, neglecting personal life. By constantly working hard and pushing yourself, you may have neglected your personal life. By directing all your time and energy toward work, you may grow weary of the same people and environment. Making a point to set aside time for your personal life relationships, personal hobbies and interests, and me time is essential for your mental health. Attending to your personal life is part of taking a break from your work and recharging. Otherwise, you may grow increasingly cynical about your job and the people you work with as you move closer to burnout. Although burnout is not defined as a medical condition, a qualified mental health professional can help you overcome it. Please do not hesitate to reach out to one for professional guidance. Do any of these habits resonate with you? Have you found ways to prevent or combat burnout? Let us know in the comments below, and please share this video with others who you think it might help. The references and studies used are listed in the description below. Until next time, Psych2Goers, take care, and thanks for watching.
Modern society has brought many advancements, from personal computers and factory lines to artificial intelligence and smartphones. One unexpected side effect of modernization is burnout, which was coined in the 1970s. It was originally described by psychologist Herbert Freudenberger as becoming exhausted by making excessive demands on energy, strength, or resources. But in recent years, the definition has expanded. Burnout is physical, emotional, or mental exhaustion that causes decreased motivation, low performance, and negative attitudes. It can result from prolonged stress or enduring overwhelming physical or mental exertion that is beyond one's workload. The concept of burnout has recently made a comeback thanks to the pandemic. With the transition to remote work, many people are experiencing burnout at home. Remote work makes life easier, but without healthy boundaries in place, your personal life could suffer. You may experience typical emotional or mental cues of burnout, such as reduced focus or lack of motivation. But there are physical signs of burnout as well. We'll explore 7 signs of burnout and possible solutions. Number 1, overall fatigue. The most obvious sign of burnout is fatigue. Feeling drained and exhausted from working is understandable, but fatigue is a bit different. Although it's usually a physical state, it can also affect your mental and emotional well-being, like making you emotionally sensitive. The fatigue you feel when you're burnt out isn't just linked to the amount of work you have to do, but also to the amount of stress you're under. Stress consumes a lot of energy, and chronic stress is like contracting a muscle for a long time. It gets fatigued and isn't very useful. The same happens to us. Chronic stress affects your sleep and eating habits, but also overproduces cortisol, which takes up a lot of energy and doesn't replenish it. In a dangerous situation, this is a normal response. Your body is priming you to fight or run away. However, we don't confront tigers on our way to work or have to run miles from our enemies. We sit at our desks without using up the glucose our stressed out bodies have produced. PhD researcher Robert Juster explains that burnout causes extreme exhaustion that isn't solved by getting sleep. A great way to prevent fatigue and an increase in cortisol levels is by taking 10 minutes out of your day to relax. Just close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Try to detach yourself from all the things you think you have to do or know you have to do. 2, sweet cravings. Craving sweets is common when you're chronically stressed and burnt out. It's your body's way of replenishing the glucose it spends. However, constantly adding glucose into your body and not actually using it can cause future problems down the road. A common result is type 2 diabetes, which occurs when your body develops a resistance to insulin. according to the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases. Also, it doesn't help that when you're stressed, you naturally crave sugar because your body uses that as fuel to confront the dangers that have got you stressed. Number 3, tension headaches. Another common sign of burnout is tension headaches, says psychologist Dr. Adam Borland. Tension headaches are also a side effect of too much stress, but can also be caused by a change in eating habits. When you're stressed, you might forget to eat or drink water throughout the day. Or worse, you might also eat unhealthy junk food because they're either faster to cook or less fussy. No judgment, but those types of foods can be culprits for your headaches. If cooking isn't your thing, try to prepare food ahead of time. Take 30 minutes over the weekend to plan your meals for the next couple of days. Make sure you include plenty of vegetables in your prepped meals. If you don't like the idea of preparing food ahead, cook simple meals. Simpler meals usually involve few ingredients. There are a lot of ideas online, so go ahead and do some research for inspiration. 4, high blood pressure. High blood pressure is both a consequence, but also a sign of burnout. It can be a consequence of burnout if it is caused by the foods you're consuming. But as a sign, high blood pressure is caused by chronic stress. Stress can cause temporary spikes in blood pressure that can damage your blood vessels, heart, and kidneys, according to the Mayo Clinic. And your hormones can damage your arteries, which can lead to heart disease. But don't fret. You can do things to help manage your stress and improve your health. Exercise is a great way to keep your blood pressure more stable, and it also can help you de-stress. If you're burned out and fatigued, opt for a lighter exercise. Do some yoga or Tai Chi. You're still moving, but not moving in a way that stresses out your body more. Number 5, heart problems. If your high blood pressure is left unattended, it can cause heart problems. Having high blood pressure can put you at risk for stroke and other cardiovascular diseases, so please find a way to decrease your stress-induced high blood pressure. According to Dr. Mary Noel Langen, who specializes in cardiology, it's common to have heart issues like palpitations or a racing pulse once in a while, but if they happen a lot or for longer than just a few seconds, you should get checked out. When we're dehydrated, our body may also increase our heart rate to keep our blood volume the same, which could lead to more serious issues. If high blood becomes a concern, reach out to a medical health provider for help. 6, stomach problems. One surprising sign of burnout is stomach problems. Burnout heavily taxes your gut and can produce intestinal inflammation. If left untreated, it can lead to stomach heavily taxes your gut and other complications. In recent years, there has been a plethora of research supporting the link between your mind and your gut. When stressed, your body halts digestion in order to produce more energy. If you're constantly stressed, you're not digesting your food properly and putting your gut health at risk. But there is a silver lining. A 2013 clinical review published by the University of Chapel Hill found that psychological treatments like CBT were effective in treating gastrointestinal disorders caused by stress. So, if your burnout is too much to handle, reach out to a licensed professional for help. And number 7, insomnia. The final sign of burnout is insomnia, which is a common symptom when you're stressed. Insomnia is what happens when you take your worries to bed with you. They loom over you and prevent you from getting a good night's sleep. To combat insomnia, it's best to try to put your mind at ease. A great practice is to exercise. In 2013, Chicago's Northwestern University discovered that older women with insomnia were able to improve the issue by doing a half hour of exercise 3 times a week for 4 months. They ended up getting an extra 45 minutes or more of much needed sleep. Burnout is serious. It's not something you should overlook. If you need a break, ask. Talk to your boss about taking a few days off. Find ways to make your life just a bit easier. For example, if you feel like your to-do list is too much, plan your time for each task and also plan your breaks. If you feel overwhelmed by the amount of tasks on your to-do list, prioritize them, but don't exceed more than 5. Once you've made your list, calmly work through them and get them done. If you don't finish, that's fine. Just add it to the next day's to-do list. But try not to exceed the 5 items to keep it manageable. Can you relate to feeling burnt out? Share with us in the comments. Keep an eye out for Sai for more content and see you next time.